I want to talk about the energetics behind fibromyalgia. More women than men are diagnosed with fibromyalgia. It's commonly called fibromyalgia syndrome. Syndrome because it can affect many different parts of your body. The pain can travel from your shoulders to your head, to your back, to your legs, from one side of the body to the other. On a scale of 1 to 10, the pain can go from 0 to 10 in a matter of minutes. You can have difficulty focusing, difficulty concentrating, difficulty sleeping, difficulty staying awake, difficulty getting up. It varies greatly from person to person. In traditional Western medicine, when we talk about the difference between healing and curing, if you watch the television commercials for Lyrica, it's not uncommon for someone that's been diagnosed with fibromyalgia syndrome to be put on Lyrica. Lyrica has can have many side effects. It says that you could have suicidal thoughts or behavior. You could have an allergic response. You could have changes in mood. You could have depression, anxiety, restlessness, trouble sleeping, panic attacks, anger, irritability, agitation, aggression, dangerous impulses, violence, extreme increases in activity, etc., etc. You can have swelling in your hands and your feet. The pain might go away, but you might have all of these other side effects. Lyrica treats the sympathetic nervous system. That's the fight or flight nervous system. When you have a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, the sympathetic nervous system becomes unbalanced for a variety of reasons. It's not uncommon, besides being on Lyrica, to be on Cymbalta or another antidepressant, to be on Klonopin, which is a nervous system suppressant, to be on Neurontin, which is a nervous system suppressant. So these drugs will take away the pain or suppress the pain, or to use our language, cure the pain, but it won't heal the person. If you stop taking the drug, first of all, you have to get off the drug slowly and carefully. You can't just stop it. And the pain will come back. So I've treated many people with fibromyalgia. All of them have been women. And 3 of them actually resolved all their pain doing this healing work that I do from Tibet. Energetically speaking, there are 2 major chakras that are involved with the diagnosis of fibromyalgia. They are the heart chakra and the throat chakra. And when we talked about the different levels of the chakras, we talked about the physical level, the emotional level, the mental level, the personality level, the soul level, and the spiritual level. When you have a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, the level that's most involved is the soul level. And when the soul level is involved, it also affects the personality, the mental level, the emotional level, and lastly, the physical level. But the imbalance is on the soul level. In order to heal somebody with fibromyalgia, you need a mechanism to connect you with a higher spiritual vibration that the imbalance is not on. You need somebody that's going to be able to connect you to a higher spiritual vibration that the imbalance is not on. So in the esoteric teachings, we use the energetic presence of the monad, the I am presence. The monad is the first separation from the universal life force or higher power, or divine, or God, whatever you want to call that energetic presence. The monad is the first separation from that. So in order to really heal somebody with fibromyalgia, you must be able to connect with the presence of the monad, your monad, and then the persons that you're working with monad, the I am presence. And then allow that healing energy from the monad to flow gently back through the person's soul into their personality, into their mental body, into their emotional body, and like I said, lastly, the physical body. And again, the physical body is the last to heal, not the first. The last to heal. So as I said, commonly the heart chakra and the throat chakra are involved on the soul level. And when you have something that's on the soul level, it means you must shift your level of consciousness in order to truly heal it. And the definition of healing is to make whole. So if you have the imbalance on the soul level of the heart chakra, you could be dealing with unresolved issues of grief. You could be dealing with unresolved issues of betrayal. Betrayal is a big one, a big one. You could be dealing with unresolved issues towards a loss of a parent or a child or a job or a spouse, something that's near and dear to you. It's not like you just lost $5. It's something that's near and dear to you. The heart chakra carries the energy of grief. It carries the energy of love. It carries the energy of joy. So when you see the imbalance on the soul level of the heart chakra, it means that you've been wounded very, very, very deeply, and you're unable to resolve it. The heart chakra deals with the muscles. So the diagnosis of fibromyalgia, many times people say, my muscles ache all over my body. So again, that's the heart chakra. The heart chakra is restricted. The heart chakra goes to the muscles. And that's why it travels, because the muscles go throughout your whole body. The heart chakra also controls your thymus gland. The thymus gland is the gland of the immune system. So when you have a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, we call it an autoimmune dis-ease because the thymus gland is involved. The other thing that's involved with the fibromyalgia is the blood. The heart chakra controls the blood. The heart chakra also controls the lungs, and that's where we see a lot of grief. It's also where we see a lot of joy, depending upon where you are on the spectrum. The other chakra that's very involved with fibromyalgia is the throat chakra, the throat chakra. And the throat chakra is the seat of the mental body, the seat of the mental body. That's how you think. The throat chakra deals with communication or not, communication or not. Every dis-ease is a form of unconscious communication, whether it's something as simple as the common cold or more complex, like fibromyalgia. The throat chakra deals with expressions of all kinds. So dis-ease is a form of unconscious expression. It's expression that's turned inward. Many times with fibromyalgia people, there's a great deal of anger. Anger towards themselves and anger towards others. Not just the delivery boy from the grocery store, but again, anger towards your mother, your father, your sister, your sibling, your brother, your husband, your children, your grandparents, people that are near and dear to you. So the anger gets unexpressed. and can turn into the diagnosis of fibromyalgia. The throat chakra also deals with the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland. More women than men have depleted thyroid glands because they don't express their anger. They don't express their anger. And I've been able to help a number of women get off of thyroid supplements or Armorol or Synthroid. As they express their anger, their need for the medicine goes down. The throat chakra goes over your shoulders, your elbows, and hands. Shoulders, elbows, and hands. You'll often have people with fibromyalgia will have shoulder pain. Shoulders are guilt, burdens, and responsibilities. Guilt, burdens, and responsibilities. The throat chakra also goes to the ears, how you hear things or not. So many times people with fibromyalgia, they don't want to hear it anymore. So their throat chakra gets blocked, and therefore they can't hear what people are saying. They can hear them physically, but they really can't hear what they are saying. And they also don't listen to what their inner voice is. The Alta Major Minor is a minor of the throat chakra. A minor of the throat chakra. So it's not a chakra per se, but it's a minor of the throat. So it's not uncommon for the Alta Major Minor also to be involved on the soul level. The Alta Major Minor controls the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system. And again, when that sympathetic nervous system becomes charged, you can have a lot of pain. And your system is in fight and flight a lot of the time. The Alta Major Minor deals with conflict. Conflict and conflict. And conflict and conflict. And it's the conflict between the soul and the personality. The soul and the personality. So the soul is saying one thing, and the personality is saying, no, not now. I don't think so. Leave me alone. Later. Don't bother me. And then that creates a heightened sympathetic nervous system, and it can lead to fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia. So again, we can medicate these symptoms with the Klonopin, the Neurontin, the Cymbalta, or a number of other drugs. But we want to work on true healing. So when people come to me with a diagnosis of fibromyalgia, I say to them, please give me 3 emotional things that you have not been able to resolve on your own. 3 emotional things that you have not been able to resolve on your own. And some people with the diagnosis of fibromyalgia have very good therapists. And they're able to talk about the situation, but the trauma is still stuck in the system. The trauma is still stuck in the system. So you have to have somebody that can take it out. Take it out. So what I do is I do the alignment and the attunement, connecting to my soul and my monad, so I'm aligned and attuned to spiritual energy. And then I make an energetic connection using the principles of energy follows thought. Energy follows thought to the person that I'm going to be working with, to their soul and their monad. I ask for the highest and best good and bring all the healing energy through my ajna, or brow chakra, and into my hands. And I begin to think about the different chakras. And I evaluate them. Physical, emotional, mental, personality, soul, and spiritual. And as I said, when I have somebody with the diagnosis of fibromyalgia, the most common chakras that are involved is the heart chakra on the soul level, the throat chakra on the soul level, and the Alta Major Minor on the soul level. And again, the Alta Major Minor deals with conflict. So I'll hear people say, well, When I was a little girl, my mother was sick and I had to take care of her, and it made me really angry, and I had nobody that I could talk to, and so I just suppressed my emotions, and I suppressed the grief that I had over my mother being sick. That gets stuck in your system, and sooner or later it can create a fibromyalgia situation. Or people will say, my parents fought when I was a little girl. They were screaming all the time. I had to finally block my ears so I wouldn't hear it anymore. It was painful for me to listen to my dad scream at my mom and my mom scream at my dad. That's a heart chakra issue, so I closed my heart down, and then all of a sudden my muscles started hurting. Or I'll hear people say, I used to live in New York City, and then we moved to the suburbs, and I lost my friends. I lost my support group. I couldn't walk everywhere like I used to. I didn't know how to make friends. So that's a heart chakra and a throat chakra issue. And then I got really depressed. And so depression is anger turned inwards, or anger that you don't feel like you have a right to have. And if that stays for long enough, then your system becomes depressed, and there's the need for some Balt or Prozac or something else that will cure the depression, but again won't heal the depression. It's not uncommon for a woman with fibromyalgia to be burdened with taking care of the children, to be burdened with taking care of the household, to not have her own spending money, to not be able to communicate with her husband, or to find out that perhaps her husband was having an affair, but she couldn't leave because she felt that she was financially dependent upon him. I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios around fibromyalgia. I had a woman when I worked in Florida that was not favored by her father, and it really, really upset her. So then that was a heart chakra issue and a throat chakra issue, and it caused a great amount of conflict. And no matter what she did, her father did not look favorably upon her. And she turned these feelings of grief and anger and guilt inside and created the imbalance called fibromyalgia. So after I balanced the chakras of the person in question, then we balance the nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And then I do the organs of processing to help them process their emotions versus turning them inward. A lot of times I'll do the spleen so they feel supported, because many times people with fibromyalgia don't feel supported. So I'll do the spleen so they feel supported. I'll do the courage area so they have the courage to make different choices. Maybe they'll make a choice to leave the marriage, or make a choice to get a job, or make a choice to let go of the trauma that they had when they were children. A lot of times I'll do the spine so that I feel supported. The spine also is your metaphysical support system. We'll work a lot on externalization versus internalization, so you get your feelings out. A lot of times I'll have people create a journal. A lot of times people say, I don't want to write anything down, I don't want anybody to find it. And as the chakras become less traumatized from the past, it pulls the person more into present time, and healing occurs in the present. True healing occurs in the present. It doesn't occur in the past. You must be in the present moment between 60 and 80% of your time to truly heal. 60 to 80% of your time to truly heal. Then after I take out the trauma, there's a void, and nature abhors a void. So I'll put in things like joy, or love, or wisdom. I'll do the breath so people learn how to nurture themselves. I'll do their eyes so they can see things differently. I'll do their ears so they can hear things differently. I'll take out some more confusion so they're not confused. And what happens as these issues become resolved, the need for the medication becomes less. The need for the medication becomes less. So the person can then slowly titrate off the medicine. A lot of times I'll have people listen to my healing meditation every day, help them get on a spiritual path that works for them. The more they receive this healing work from Tibet, the more intuitive they become, the more they're getting their own spiritual messages, They're being guided by a higher force. And this guidance from the higher force gets them to choose different things in their life. Maybe they don't hang out with the same people. Maybe they learn how to drive. Maybe they take dance lessons. Maybe they get divorced. Maybe they get a job that they really like. Maybe they start to do community service. But it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to watch these things happen. So I just want to leave you with this. If you happen to have a diagnosis with fibromyalgia, healing is possible. Healing is possible. And of course, we always ask for the highest and the best good to happen. The highest and the best good. Whatever that is for you at this moment, at this time. The highest and the best good.